Okay, we're just recording this now. I'm here with Aaron, who's one of my employees for my Warwick store, and we're going over how to respond to these messages and answer the Facebook messages. So this is the inbox for the Warwick store. So Aaron, I see this one right here. See this guy messaged, but he hasn't been responded to yet. Let me see this one really quick. So something that's really important, right, is that you want to always be responding to these people as fast as possible, okay? Because once hour goes by, the bleed is almost pretty much dead. We probably lose 60% chance of closing it because they're probably going to message somebody else or call somebody else, and then, you know, the lead actually ends up, you know, getting this person excited to sell their phone, and then we don't respond, so they like look up somebody else selling the phone and sell it to them instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So do your best to respond to these in like 5 or 10 minutes. Do you have the Page Manager app on your phone?
No, I don't.
Okay, you want to get that. So it's an app like this, right? Hold on a second, I'll show you. And you can go to the Buy, Sell, Fix page right on the app. It's the Facebook Page Manager app, okay? And then you can answer the messages right on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And if not, if you're going to do it on the computer, you just got to respond to them faster, because if you don't, we're going to lose a lot of money, and we're paying, you know, $2 or above for some of these leads here. And, you know, if we don't respond, then we're just basically burning the money. You know, does that make sense?
Yep.
So let me take a look and see how you're responding to these.
Yeah, I haven't had too much time to go through these much today, but
Page Manager is the one. Yeah, Facebook Page Manager. Sorry, what were you saying, Aaron?
Oh, I haven't had too much time to go through these yet, but I have gone through some of them and just tried to close the deals that I still had open.
I want you to treat these kind of like a phone call almost. Like that phone rings, you really got to answer it, right? Like even if you can just get back to them and say, cool, what kind of phone is it? And try to just respond to acknowledge them as soon as possible, it will make a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the middle of a phone repair, try to just bang out like, do you have do you have the script to copy and paste off for the objection and rebuttal script?
Yep.
Cool. So let's see how this one was here. Jason, he said, I'd like to get a quote. Good. You said, okay, great. Thanks for messaging, Jason. What type of phone are you looking to sell? He said, iPhone 6S. Awesome. What company is it with? Straight Talk. Any problems with it? Shattered screen. Does it still work with the shattered screen?
This guy's just taking it takes a long time to answer back.
I would try avoiding too many questions like that, right? Because if you ask too many questions, it kind of turns people off. Because remember, these people are seeing this from like a Facebook ad, right? So it's kind of like spontaneous. We're just kind of catching them scrolling their news feed on Facebook. And they'd like to get an answer as soon as possible, because we kind of almost intruded on them. You know, it's not like someone went to Craigslist and they called us or they went looking for us. We kind of like showed up in their feed, and it's almost like you're in the middle of walking through the mall and one of those guys at the kiosk approach you type of thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, so you got to keep it as short, sweet as possible. So instead of saying like, you know, you could say any problems with it, I would have said something like, okay, cool. Just always be like friendly, right? You could say awesome, okay, great, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Any problems with it?
Yeah, scroll up all the way to the top. We've closed him before. He doesn't. Yeah. I closed him really quickly before, but
The same guy?
Yeah, same guy, but he just doesn't have a car, so he keeps saying that.
Are you sure? I don't see any. He replied to an ad. I don't see any previous conversation.
6S, Straight Talk. I can't go to you because I have no transportation. Then he messages us again. And then all the recent ones is just him messaging us when not on our store hours.
Okay, well, let's just look at how we can improve this conversation, all right? So, because that's the most important thing, right? So when negotiating, it starts off on the first impression. So the better impression you can make and the easier you can make it, the better chance of closing the deal. Okay, so we want to try to be like kind of proactive with our negotiations to say the right things and lead the conversation off, because that gives us a much higher percentage of closing it. Once we kind of botch the negotiation or we frustrate the customer, we might not ever be able to recover from that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So like, you know, something like this, I would just say, instead of any problems with it, I would say, hey, does it have any cracks or damage? I said, okay, cool. Does it have any cracks or damage? It has a cracked screen. You might be able to just say, does the picture still work or something like that? Instead of, does it still work with the shattered screen? People could get kind of confused with that. And
I
these
hear you.
little tiny subtle words make such a big difference, right? So instead of saying, does it still work with the shattered screen? I might say something like, cool, do you still see the picture? And they're like, yes, okay, I still see the picture. It says, no, but if you get a new screen, it'll be brand new. And you said, okay, awesome, I give you $60 for it. So instead of saying awesome here, I would change it up, because awesome, it sounds out of place when it's, and he's saying no, but if you get a new screen, it will be brand new. I would say, okay, cool, okay, sounds good. I can give you 60 for it. Because that's like a more of an appropriate response rather than awesome. Awesome is kind of like a higher, like really positive type of thing, which is cool when they first message you, but now like he's saying something kind of bad about the phone. It doesn't make sense to say awesome at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
And if someone feels like you're, I guess, talking to them from a script, that could also turn someone off as well, right? So if you continue to say the same things over and over, that person might be like, they just feel like a robot's talking to them, or like they're not being treated like a human, if that makes sense. So just try to switch up those little words a little bit to make it more appropriate. So negotiation does take a little bit of focus, right? Now it's good to respond any way you can to better than none, because at least you responded. But to take it up a notch, these are little things we can do to increase the chances of closing. So he says, okay, you said, okay, I can give you $60 for it. And he says, when? And you said, okay, cool. Are you available to stop by today? I wouldn't have said, okay, cool there. Because again, that's not really like an appropriate response. If he says when, I would say I can give it to you right now. Because you see how that's more focused on the reward for him and letting him know, you're telling him, I want the business today, right now. But you said, are you available to stop by today? So what you did was you put the control in his hands. Also, it looks like Austin, for some reason, had to respond to this instead of you. Do you know why that happened?
Well, we're just switching off. You know what I mean?
Okay. Just because if he says when, that's a really solid indicator. It means we're probably going to get that deal. So if you see stuff like that, you want to respond to those as fast as you can and just say, can you come in right now? Would be a much better response, because you're getting them focused on coming right now. So I can give you $60 for it. When? Can you come in right now? No, I can't. Okay. What's better for you? I'm here till 6 p.m. Do you want to come here at 3 or 4? What time is better for you? Or when do you think you can get here? You can just be really direct with them, but you always want to be leading them to what we want, which is coming in for the deal. Is this stuff confusing at all, or do you kind of get most of that pretty much?
No, I understand. Yep.
Okay. Any questions on it?
No.
Because I'm going kind of fast, so I just wanted to make sure you got it all.
Yep.
He says, I can't go to you because I have no transportation. So nobody responded to him here, right? So we want to, this is a really hot lead. We got to follow up with the guy like this. And just because he says he doesn't have transportation doesn't mean we can't get him in, right? So if he says, I can't go to you because I have no transportation, I totally understand. Unfortunately, we're not able to go out to anybody because we're a store, but are you able to get a ride? And follow up with that. Unfortunately, we can't go to you because, we don't have, because we're a store, but can you get a ride? Keep the conversation going. And then he says, I would like to get a quote to sell my phone. He obviously saw the ad again. I would like to sell my iPhone 6. And then you said, awesome, which carrier is it for? So you want to look, if you get a message, right, just kind of scroll up to see if you talked to him before, because now it's kind of weird because you've said the same thing to him both times, right? You asked them the same questions about the same phone.
Yeah, I just noticed that now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, stuff like that does make a big difference, right? And then you said, I can give you $10 for it, where up here you said 60.
Yeah. I just noticed that. Yeah.
So that's definitely going to ruin the deal. And he says, I can't do that, Loach. So let's message him right now, right? And say, apologize. I just noticed that I gave you a different quote earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't see the previous messages. I can do 60 for you. Is that
Just reappraise that phone, because yeah, it's not much value at all.
it's the iPhone 6S with this cracked screen?
Yep.
Let me see. So if it's straight talk, we just do appraise the Sprint value sound.
It's actually cracked LCD.
Yeah. Let's see. How come you quoted 60 in the beginning?
Because I think they were selling for more like maybe like 120, 130. Because I was
Okay.
planning on being able to just to throw a screen on there and yeah.
Let's give them 25. And see what happens. Get you 25. Who knows? Let's see. It's important to keep following up with these people though, and really, it does take a little bit of work. But when you have the downtime, you want to try to get into this as much as you can and try to follow up with people, because that's just going to lead. One, when we get them in the door, we're building a relationship, right? And you know, they're not going to want to go to somebody else in the future. Once we treat them right and we work with them, the more someone like communicates with us, the more affinity it builds them with this, which means they're going to be more likely to refer people to us or get repeat business in the future. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at, let's see another one. Okay, so this one right here, this guy never responded back. So with Facebook ads, the thing is, sometimes, again, because we're kind of catching them off guard, right? They forget about us, they get distracted. So they say, I would like to sell my phone. They click one little button on a Facebook ad, and then they forgot they even clicked the button. So we message them, and then, you know, they get busy or whatever. So maybe just try to follow up with these people. Now, this one was only an hour ago. Maybe the guy just didn't see the message. So let's not respond to that. But like a 3 or 4, oh, look at that. This guy said, yeah, that's better.
Nice.
Boom, there's a deal right there. Now, see that? Now, just following up with that guy, we just got a deal out of nowhere, right? So that's why it's so important to do this stuff. He says that better. Okay, great. Can you come today? Okay, I'm gonna actually forget about today. Can you come down now to sell it? And we'll see what he says in a second. So this guy right here, right, says, okay, great. So let's follow up with him in like 2 or 3 hours. If he doesn't, like, actually maybe 1 more hour, because it's been almost 2 now. 1 more hour. If this guy doesn't do anything, just follow up with, hey, are you still interested in selling your phone?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I'll do it right now anyways. You're still interested, maybe we get another deal here, in selling your phone. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, hi Jasmine. What item would you like to sell today? I'd like to get a quote. He says, I'd like to get a quote to sell my phone. Okay, great. Thanks for messaging, Jasmine. What type of phone are you looking to sell today? All right, that was good. iPhone X. Awesome. Any problems with that? It doesn't work. What's going on? Do you think cracked screen? It's unusable. You know, instead of saying what's going on, you think, right, when you say any problems with it,
Yeah, it just doesn't. I didn't feel like that was like, it could be water damage, could just be a cracked screen. Like I didn't know. Like
so
that's
better thing
help
if
me
she says doesn't work, say, okay, what do you think is the issue with it?
all right. Yeah.
Okay, what do you think is the issue, right? So instead of what's going on with it, you think cracked screen. Again, you want to lead them to where you want to be. The customers need to be taken from the beginning to the end. Oh, look at this. This guy responded. What's the address? Boom, here it is. 643 East Avenue, Warwick, I 02886. Now watch this. I'm going to try to upsell this guy too. Buy lots of different electronics, such as MacBooks, tablets, laptops, cameras, smartwatches, etc. Do you have anything else you would like to bring down? See if I can get someone else out of them. That would be great. Okay. Okay, so here's another one. Oh no, that was that same guy. Okay, here's one. Oh, we were on Jasmine, right? This is the one. Okay, let's see how this was handled. So again, you want to be proactive in the negotiations. Remember, proactive. Proactive means leading the customer to the responses that we want. So instead of she says doesn't work, I would say, okay, what do you think is the issue with it? She says unusable, and I would say, could you please clarify unusable? What did that mean? So this is very positive, right? Could you please clarify that? Instead of, okay, is it cracked, water damage, something like that? Again, just be very positive. Could you please clarify what the exact problem is for me? It's cracked. And you said, okay, I can give you $100 for it. Now, this is an iPhone X that was cracked, and you only get $100? That seems a little low.
Yeah, I'm just going by what she told me. She said unusable, so I got to take it for face value, so no power.
Okay, so we don't want to assume that. Okay, so because now we didn't get a response on that. And an iPhone X, let's see what the cracked screen, what they're selling for. X cracked screen. And we don't even know the carrier on this. So this could be AT&T, Verizon. So we need kind of a little more information to give a bit more accurate quote, right?
Yep.
So let's look up the range that they're in. iPhone X, battery SN, cracked front and back, 220. Oh, that's iCloud lock too. Look at this. Battery LCD cracked. It's worth $380, $359. So that's kind of a low ball on that, right? Because if it's just cracked working, like that's super low. We could have probably gone up to like $200 on that. So you got to be careful because that's just kind of burning a lead. You know what I mean? Like if you lowball them like that, and I know
you're just saying right now it's better to offer her more just to get her to walk in, and then offer her less if anything else.
Well, not offer more, but 100 is pretty far off. I mean, if it's selling for $400, you might want to ask, hey, what carrier is it with? You know, so you get a little more information and give an accurate quote. Because I mean, even at $200, we're still making some serious money on that. That's almost doubling our profit even at 200. So 100 is like.
I understand. I'm just worried of it coming in as no power. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm really from what she's telling us. That's what I'm taking it as.
If that happens, Aaron, you can always. Can you hear me? Okay, it says internet connection unstable. Aaron.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you could hear me. I don't know if it froze for a second. So it's better to assume better right now and say, okay, assuming it's, the screen is cracked and it works, I can do 200 for you. Is that good? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So let's see.
She's saying it doesn't work though.
What's that?
He's saying it doesn't work, unusable.
Okay, hold on a second. We'll get back to him in a minute. Awesome. I give you $100 for it. Hey, are you still interested in selling your phone? I think I may have made a mistake on the price. I could do, let's say, do you know what phone company it is with? Let's clarify that. We give a more accurate appraisal.
All right. If you want to, Melis would be if you want to read that one's pretty interesting. I don't know.
Maybe able to go a good amount higher. So see, a lot of this isn't just what you say though. It's also the situations, right? It's all about like knowing what the actual problem is and kind of looking at the meaning behind their words. Because the customers, they don't know what they're talking about. They might say unusable, and to them it's just a cracked LCD, where we know a cracked LCD is good all day long. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to assume based on what the customer tells us. Where is he saying it's? I don't see that message. You said that it's on your.
Mel is one more. Scroll a little bit more. Melis. It's under. Yep.
What is this one now? I heard the value of my iPhone 8 Plus was at least $350. No offense, but I don't want to get screwed. Okay, let's look at this negotiation. So yeah, iPhone 8 Plus, Metro PCS. Any problems? No, not at all. Okay, great. I'll give you $254. Ouch, I was hoping for $300. Okay, so this was. You want to respond differently than that. The highest I can go is $270. We can meet today and give you cash. You gotta let them know, like make them feel bad almost that they're asking.
Yeah, I'm just going by the script. That's what it has in the script.
Yes, but it doesn't have this yet. If you watch the training video on how to use the script, it tells you first to say and then say I totally understand. I wouldn't be able to do that for you.
Okay.
Like if you want to like pause and say because this makes people think like did I ask for too much? Is that a lot? You've got to give them the vibe that their price is very high. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right? So if you're like, Dave, I want you to pay me, $3,000 a week to run the store. And I'd be like, And I just kind of looked at you. You'd kind of get the impression that I didn't agree with what you just said. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't really need to say anything. It's just more my response kind of says everything. Right? So like, that's kind of the same thing when they want too much for the phone and you just say, Let them sit for like a minute or something like that. We don't want to be quick to just kind of jump the price because that makes us seem desperate, right?
I understand. Yeah, I hear you on that. Yep.
Yeah. So ouch, I was hoping for 300. I don't think I'd be able to do that. I'm not sure if I'd be able to, I don't think I could do that. Unfortunately, the market doesn't allow me to pay that high. But I could do 250 and give you cash today, right? And then she might say, so I don't like to say the highest I go is 270 until we're like at least 3 or 4 no's in, because then you're kind of definitive. Because at that point now, they might not have been ready to do it on that no, but like maybe on the 4th no, you've built enough affinity with them to close it. It's really sensitive in the closing process, right? When you ask for the order, when you time things right. So this timed right could have closed them, but I think it was too early you did it, so it kind of blew them out. Like they just kind of got turned off by that because you said the highest I can go is 270, and it was only 1 or 2 no's in, right? So you want to make them feel like you do want their business, and you do that by saying, hey, unfortunately the market doesn't allow me to pay, but I really would love to buy the phone and I could give you cash today. And then wait for another response. And they say, oh, I really need to get at least 270. And then, unfortunately, as a reseller, we would not be able to really go that high because we have to make a profit on it. But I would love to buy the phone from you and give you cash. I tell you what, how about I meet you in the middle and do 260? So see, what I'm doing there is I'm making them like, I'm making them feel good because I want to buy their phone. I'm letting them know, we appreciate this. I really want your business. And then I'm blaming it on the market. Unfortunately, the market doesn't allow me to pay that much. But I could do, how about if I meet you in the middle, do 260? And then I give them a little something. And then they say, nah, if I can't do it at 270, then I can't do it. Then you come back with like, oh, well, do you have anything else for sale? Because we also buy other electronics. If you're able to sell us something else, I might be able to do a little bit more since we're getting 2 items. And you try to go that route. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is you got to put you're thinking from the customer's point. We want to be focused on the customer. What we don't want to do is make all kinds of assumptions. So the biggest problem people make in negotiating is they assume everything. They assume the customer is speaking at face value, like they really need $500 for their iPhone 6. That's a wrong assumption. They assume that the customer knows what they're talking about as far as the phone not being usable. They assume that, they need to go up higher on price to close the deal, and if not, they won't get the deal. All those are kind of just fake assumptions from amateur negotiators. So what we want to do is figure out what can we do to put this deal together? If I was the customer, what would help me put this deal together? Sometimes it's just asking multiple times. Sometimes it's just asking 3 or 4 times in a nice way, saying like, look, I really do want to buy the phone, but unfortunately the market doesn't let me pay, but I could give you cash for it. No, I can't do 270 though. I totally understand. I really, really love to buy it. Is there any way we could do something to put a deal together for you? Put it in their court and say, well, you know, can you at least do 260? Well, if I did 260, would you come in right now? Yes, I would. Okay, fine, we'll do 260. Okay, now I'm recording this so you can watch this replay because this is kind of a lot I'm giving you right now, but is it making sense?
Yeah.
So what are some things that you learned so far from this?
Just, yeah, don't assume like, because you can ruin a deal, because like I offered her too low because I assumed what her phone was in what condition it was in, but she might want just a little bit more. And if I didn't assume that her phone was that bad and I could offer it a little bit more, we probably could have closed the deal. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. That's excellent. Let's look at this one. Let's see. Hey, great. Thanks for mentioning what type of laptop you looking to sell. MacBook Pro 2017. Okay, so this one here, you never responded back.
Yeah. I mean, let me see. Those are not work hours. I mean, I haven't worked down that far yet.
Okay.
That's Austin, and that was Austin too.
Okay.
I haven't worked down that far yet.
Oh, that was in the morning.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So that's one definitely to follow up with.
Yep.
Let's do an appraisal on it really quick. See, I don't know. See if they respond and try to close them. $2017. It's worth decent money. $900. $900. Okay, so it's about 900. Okay, great. I can do 500 on that for you.
Well, we don't know the condition or anything.
I don't care.
Okay.
Because if it is worst condition, I'll just let them know. Oh, I apologize. I had given you this as based on good condition. So that's all the negotiation part. We can't try to like worry about every certain scenario that will happen because that will usually cause us to get less deals rather than more, right? We get more deals just by giving fast answers and giving people what they want. And then we can kind of like backtrack later if there is an issue. If she says, oh, it's got a cracked screen. Okay, I apologize. If it's got a cracked screen, I can do this instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I just don't think most people are going to do that, but yeah. Like, no, like she mentioned the crack screen. I don't think most people are going to mention that. Like, they'll just run right in. Yeah.
Well, you can always say this condition, this is based on it's in good condition or something like that. If you want to add as a caveat before you come in, you can also say, hey, one last thing. I just want to make sure that it is in good condition because I gave you a quote based on the good condition. There's no cracks or anything, correct? Oh, there is a crack. Okay, I apologize. Let me just give you a different price on that.
Yeah, I guess I just got to start.
If it was a phone, I probably would do the condition thing, but also a laptop, chances are it's probably going to be okay. And if I give her 500, she might say, hey, by the way, it is cracked. Just one. Let's take a look here. I would like to get a quote to sell my tablet. Nobody responded to this guy. Nobody responded to this guy either. So there's a couple messages here that just weren't even responded to at all. Like 3 of them. So let's try to get to those as soon as possible. And then, wow, this person had to say I had a quote to sell my phone this many times. And then, Austin, what do you have? A phone. No, all right. So there's a lot of messages here that are not being returned, which is kind of a problem. We want to try to definitely get back to these faster if you can. Is there somebody else on the chat or is that a customer? Aaron? Oh. Customer. just going to pause this for a second. I want to wait for him. Okay, so Aaron's back, and I think that's going to wrap up the training for today. I may do a couple more videos like this so you guys can see different situations, because there was a lot to cover here, and I'm sure you can learn a lot just rewatching this video. Aaron, I would recommend, once I upload this, I'll send it to you. Just kind of watch it again. Maybe like watch it like once a day for the next week, just as a reminder of some of these things, because there was a lot I did say and cover in this, and you might pick up a couple phrases to use in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And I'm probably going to update the script a little bit, or just really trying to solidify the script in the training.
Yes.
So that it's easier to follow as well. So we're going to try to work on that over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'll let you go for now, and hope anybody else who's watching this video, hope it was helpful for you guys.